reliever for the Cubs, but got left off the playoff roster. All right, Hurry. So you know Democrats, you know liberals, they get panicky. So let's start with the map. So you got this situation now where you got, this is sort of a quadrennial tradition in which the Republican says they're going to campaign in blue states. Mitt Romney had a Minnesota visit. There was a huge rally in Pennsylvania. It didn't work out for him. You got something similar this time around, and the question is this a head fake, or is there real softness in a state like Michigan that Hillary Clinton herself is going to be going to on Friday?
Well, listen, you know, the president visited Wisconsin in 2012. Bill Clinton was in Pennsylvania the day before the election in 2012. It's smart for Democrats to really solidify their base and get to 270. I don't see that as really any worry about Michigan. What I do think is needed is really rallying some enthusiasm, especially among African-American voters. I think that's part of what this Detroit trip is about. But you're right, Chris. I mean, like, Democrats are bedwetters, and not unlike, you know, Cub fans, and I can speak as both a Democrat and a Cub fan, we tend to worry. But the thing here is we have to go back and look at the fundamentals of this race. The fundamentals of this race are exactly the same. The map is exactly the same. We start out with 242 electoral votes if we win every state that we've won for the last 6 elections. That gives us a lot of paths to 270. The demographic math in each of these swing states is very much in our favor and moving more and more so. And finally, our organizing advantage is tremendous over Donald Trump. So we know, based on the work and investment that we put into data and our field and our organizing efforts, we know who the voters we need to reach are. We know the ones that have voted early. We know the ones that we need to turn out on Election Day. So, you know, the structure that Democrats have in place should give us great confidence, just like the Cubs starting staff should.
Well, okay, right. But to extend the metaphor, right, then bad stuff can happen. So if that's the sort of structural advantage, right? I mean, for instance, one of the things we've seen is we have seen lower levels of African-American turnout in early voting in the states of Florida and North Carolina. Now, in North Carolina, much of that can probably be ascribed to the fact that early voting was cut back in predominantly black areas, shockingly, by the Republican government. But there is also a question about an enthusiasm gap, and obviously this is the first time the Democratic Party is trying to preserve the Obama coalition without the first black president.
Right. No, that's absolutely true, and I do think there's some cause for concern around African-American turnout and enthusiasm. We're seeing that a little bit in the numbers. But at the same time, we're seeing, especially in these early vote numbers, Democrats have pumped up their registration numbers and are turning out Hispanic voters, Asian voters at unprecedented rates. So if you look at a state like Florida, where as of Saturday, or the equivalent Saturday 4 years ago, we had about 660,000 Democratic votes, we have 1.4 million Democratic votes already in the bank, right? Same thing in Nevada, where turnout is up. In Colorado, where Democratic turnout outpaces Republican turnout in the early vote by 30,000 votes already. So, yeah, we do need to look at African-American voters and ensure that we're able to drive out our base for the next 7 days, but we've also identified other groups that are moving forward and actually producing votes.
All right, Harry Sevugan, who's going to be very happy when he checks his phone after this interview. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Coming up, why the constant flow of outrageous behavior from the Republican nominee doesn't seem to have any lasting impact on his polling. Michael Moore joins me to talk about that after this.